The rain fell in sheets the day I buried Sarah, turning the cemetery into a landscape of grief and mud. I stood at the graveside with our 3-year-old daughter Emma clutching my leg, her tiny fist wrapped around the fabric of my black suit pants. She didn't understand why Mommy was in that wooden box, why all these people were crying, why the sky itself seemed to be weeping. I had called my parents 3 times that week. The first call came the night Sarah died in the car accident. A drunk driver running a red light, taking her from us in an instant. My mother answered, her voice flat and distant as always. Mom, Sarah's gone. There was an accident. She's dead. A pause. Then, that's unfortunate, Ethan. But these things happen. When is the service? Saturday, 2 o'clock. St. Mary's Church, then Riverside Cemetery. Please, I need you both here. Emma needs her grandparents. We'll see what we can do. Your father has a golf tournament that weekend. The second call came 2 days later, desperation creeping into my voice. My father answered this time, his tone already defensive before I even spoke. Dad, about the funeral. Ethan, I've been meaning to call. Your mother and I discussed it, and we don't think we can make it. It's quite far, and honestly, we barely knew the girl. We met her, twice? At your wedding and that one Christmas. Her name was Sarah. She was my wife. The mother of your granddaughter. Don't be dramatic. People die every day. You're young, you'll remarry. This funeral business, it's all rather trivial, don't you think? All that ceremony for what? She's gone. Standing in the rain won't bring her back. Trivial. The word hit me like a physical blow. You're telling me that my wife's funeral, that honoring the woman I loved, the mother of your grandchild, is trivial? We're just being practical, son. Besides, the golf tournament is important. I've been planning this for months. Surely you understand that life goes on. I hung up. The third call never happened. I deleted their number from my phone. Now, standing at Sarah's grave, I scanned the crowd of mourners. Sarah's parents stood across from me, her mother's face streaked with tears, her father's arm around her shoulders. Sarah's sister, Rebecca, held Emma when I needed to step forward to place a rose on the coffin. Friends from our neighborhood, colleagues from Sarah's teaching job, even our mailman who always made her laugh. They all came. My parents' absence was a void that everyone noticed but nobody mentioned. The funeral director had saved 2 seats in the front row, the seats reserved for the groom's parents. They remained empty throughout the service, a glaring testament to their choice. I felt each pitying glance from the attendees like needles in my skin. After the burial, Sarah's mother approached me, her hand gentle on my arm. Ethan, where are your parents? Are they ill? I couldn't bring myself to tell her the truth. They couldn't make it, I said simply. She squeezed my arm, her eyes knowing. She didn't press further, but I saw the flicker of understanding, the sadness that wasn't just for Sarah. The weeks after the funeral blurred together in a haze of diapers, tears, and sleepless nights. Emma would wake up crying for her mother, and I would hold her, my own tears falling into her dark curls. I had taken a leave from my job as a software engineer, burning through my savings to stay home with her. Sarah's life insurance policy helped, but it wasn't much. We had been young, invincible, never imagining we'd need it so soon. The money would run out eventually. I sat at our kitchen table one night after putting Emma to bed, surrounded by bills and bank statements. The house felt too big without Sarah's laughter filling it, too quiet without her singing while she cooked dinner. I picked up the framed photo from our wedding day. Sarah in her simple white dress, her smile radiant, my arms wrapped around her waist. We had been so happy, so completely, blindingly happy. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother, the first communication in 3 weeks. Heard you got a sizable insurance payout. If you need advice on investing it, your father knows a good financial advisor. Also, we'll be in your area next month for a conference. Perhaps we could meet for lunch. I stared at the message, my jaw tightening. Not a single word about Emma. Not one question about how we were coping. Just a transparent grab at money and a casual suggestion to meet. As if they hadn't abandoned us when we needed them most. I blocked the number. Sarah's parents? Linda and Robert, became my lifeline. They moved from 2 states away to an apartment 10 minutes from our house. Linda picked up Emma from daycare when I had to return to work. Robert helped me fix the leaking roof, taught me how to braid Emma's hair, sat with me on the porch drinking beer when the grief became too heavy to carry alone. "You're doing a good job, son," Robert told me one evening, watching Emma play in the backyard. "Sarah would be proud." "I don't feel like I'm doing a good job. I burned her breakfast this morning and put her shoes on the wrong feet." Parenting isn't about perfection. It's about showing up. You show up every single day for that little girl. That's what matters. I thought about my own parents, who hadn't shown up for the most important day, who had called my wife's death trivial. "Robert, can I ask you something? Did your parents disappoint you?" He was quiet for a long moment. "My father left when I was 8. Never looked back. Saw him once at my high school graduation. He showed up drunk, made a scene, then disappeared again. I spent years angry about it. Years trying to understand why I wasn't enough for him to stay." "How did you get past it?" "I didn't get past it. I got through it. There's a difference. You don't forget that kind of pain, Ethan. But you can choose not to let it define you. You can choose to be different, to break the cycle. Look at Emma. Are you going to be the kind of father who calls her life trivial? Who misses the important moments? Never. Then that's your answer. You be the parent you needed. That's how you heal. I threw myself into work with a ferocity that surprised even me. Every evening after Emma went to bed, I coded. I had an idea for an app, a project management tool specifically designed for small creative businesses, something that combined Sarah's love of organization with my technical skills. I called it Harmony, thinking of the way Sarah had brought balance to my chaotic life. For 2 years, I worked on it in stolen moments, lunch breaks, early mornings, late nights. Emma would sometimes wake up and find me at my laptop, and I'd scoop her up, let her sit on my lap while I explained what I was building. "This is for Mommy," I told her when she was 4, pointing at the elegant interface I'd designed. She always said small businesses needed better tools. "So Daddy's making one. Will Mommy see it in heaven?" My throat tightened. "I think she sees everything we do, sweetheart. I think she's very proud of us." Emma touched the screen gently, as if she could reach through it to her mother. "I miss her." "Me too, baby. Me too." Harmony launched on a Tuesday in March, 3 years after Sarah's death. I had poured every penny I could spare into marketing, had reached out to small business owners, had beta tested with 50 companies who gave me invaluable feedback. The response was silence. For the first week, downloads trickled in 20 users, then 50, then 100. I was ready to call it a failure when the article dropped. TechCrunch ran a feature, "Widowed Father Creates App in Memory of Late Wife, Revolutionizes Small Business Management." The journalist had discovered my story through a beta tester and had reached out for an interview. I had been honest about Sarah, about building Harmony while raising Emma alone, about trying to honor her memory by solving a problem she had always talked about. The article went viral. Within 48 hours, Harmony had 50,000 downloads. Within a week, 200,000. Tech blogs picked up the story. I did interviews with NPR, Forbes, and Business Insider. Venture capital firms started calling. I had exactly one meeting. The VC firm offered me $2 million for 20% of the company. I negotiated up to $3 million for 15%. The money hit my account on a Friday, and I sat staring at the number, feeling nothing but hollow. Sarah should have been here to see this. This was her dream as much as mine. She had sketched out user flows on napkins, had brainstormed feature ideas with me late at night. This success was built on the foundation of our partnership, and she wasn't here to celebrate it. I picked up Emma from school that day. She was in kindergarten now, bright and resilient despite everything, and took her for ice cream. "Why are we celebrating, Daddy?" "Because Mommy's idea became real. Because people are using something we made together. Because even when people we love are gone, the things we build with them last forever." Emma nodded solemnly, then smiled. "Can I get 2 scoops? Today you can have 3. The message came 6 months later, forwarded through my business email since they no longer had my personal number. Dear Ethan, we saw the articles about your app. Congratulations on your success. We always knew you had potential, though we worried you were throwing your life away with that girl. Perhaps her death was a blessing in disguise. Look how much you've accomplished. Preparing and narrating this type of story took us long efforts and hard work. So if you are enjoying the story, please consider subscribing to our channel. We'd love to reconnect. Your mother and I aren't getting any younger, and we've been thinking about family. We'd like to meet our granddaughter properly. Perhaps we could discuss your company as well. Your father has some excellent investment connections that could help you scale. Also, we're having some financial difficulties. The economy has been tough, and your father's retirement fund took a hit. We know you're doing well now, and family helps family. We were thinking maybe $50,000 to start, just to get us back on our feet. Let us know when we can visit. Love, Mom and Dad. I read it 3 times, my hands shaking. The audacity of it, the sheer, breathtaking audacity. Sarah's death was a blessing in disguise? They wanted to meet Emma. The granddaughter they had known existed for 6 years, but never once called to check on? And the request for money, casual as asking to borrow a cup of sugar? I drafted a response immediately, my fingers flying over the keyboard with years of suppressed rage. Dear Mom and Dad, you called my wife's funeral trivial. You chose golf over being there for your son and granddaughter when we needed you most. You never sent a card, never made a phone call, never once asked if Emma was okay. Now you see money, and suddenly family matters? Sarah's death was not a blessing. It was a tragedy that shattered our world. Emma still cries for her mother. I still wake up reaching for her in the night. The success I've built wasn't because she died. It was in spite of that loss while carrying the weight of grief you weren't there to help shoulder. You want to meet Emma? She's 6 years old. She doesn't know you exist because you chose not to exist in her life. She has grandparents who love her. Sarah's parents, who moved their entire lives to help raise her, who show up to every school play and soccer game, who braid her hair and read her bedtime stories. You're not her grandparents. You're strangers who share my DNA. As for the money, consider this. You taught me an invaluable lesson about family. You taught me exactly what not to be, exactly what kind of parent to never become. That education was priceless. Consider your debt paid. Don't contact me again. Ethan. I hovered over the send button. Then I paused. I thought about Robert's words. You don't get past it. You get through it. I deleted the email. Instead, I wrote something else. I received your message. I won't be sending money, and I won't be facilitating a relationship with Emma. You made your choices 6 years ago. Those choices have consequences. I hope you find the help you need, but it won't come from me. Goodbye. Short, clean, final. I blocked the business email address and set up filters to catch any other attempts at contact. 2 weeks later, they showed up at my house. I was getting ready for Emma's 6th birthday party. The backyard decorated with streamers, a bounce house inflating on the lawn, Linda and Robert helping me set up tables. Emma was inside, getting into her princess dress with Rebecca's help. A car pulled into the driveway. An older sedan, not the luxury vehicle my parents had always driven. 2 people got out and my stomach dropped. They had aged. My father's hair was completely gray now, his shoulders stooped. My mother looked thinner, harder, her designer clothes replaced with discount store brands. They looked diminished. Ethan, my mother called out, waving as if this were a normal visit. We were in the neighborhood and thought we'd surprise you. Linda and Robert had stopped setting up, watching warily. I walked to the driveway, positioning myself between my parents and the house. You need to leave. Don't be dramatic, my father said, his old dismissive tone surfacing. We drove 4 hours to see you, to see our granddaughter. It's her birthday, isn't it? We brought a gift. My mother held up a small, poorly wrapped package. She doesn't know you. You're not invited to her party. You need to leave now. Ethan, please, my mother said. And for the first time I heard something crack in her voice. We made mistakes. We know that. But we're family. Doesn't that mean something? Family shows up, I said quietly. The family doesn't call the death of someone's wife trivial. The family doesn't ask for money after 6 years of silence. We were wrong about that, my father said, and he looked uncomfortable, unable to meet my eyes. We should have been there. We see that now. You see it now? Now that I have money? Now that my story got publicity? Where were you when Emma had nightmares every night for a year? Where were you when I had to explain to a 3-year-old why her mommy wasn't coming home? Where were you for her first day of school? Her first lost tooth? The hundreds of days in between when we needed you? We didn't know you needed. I told you. My voice rose, years of pain pouring out. I called you. I begged you to come to the funeral. You chose golf. You chose your comfort over your family. And now you want back in because you think there's something in it for you? Emma appeared on the porch, her princess dress glittering in the sunlight. Daddy? Is everything okay? I took a breath, lowering my voice. Everything's fine, sweetheart. These people were just leaving. My mother looked at Emma, her granddaughter, and something flickered across her face. Regret, maybe, or recognition of what she'd lost. She looks just like you, she whispered. She has her mother's eyes, I said. Sarah's eyes. The woman you never bothered to know. Robert had moved to stand beside me, a silent show of support. Linda had her arm around Emma on the porch. Please leave, I said again. Don't come back. Don't call. Don't show up at Emma's school or try to contact us through other people. You gave up the right to be in our lives. That was your choice, and choices have consequences. Ethan, my father started. Goodbye. I turned my back and walked to the porch, scooping Emma into my arms. Robert stayed in the driveway, making sure they left. I heard their car start and heard the crunch of gravel as they pulled away. Emma looked at me, her small face serious. Who were those people, Daddy? I could have lied. I could have said they were lost, asking for directions. But Sarah and I had always promised to be honest with Emma. Age-appropriate, but truthful. They were people I used to know, I said carefully. But they're not part of our family. Is Grandma Linda part of our family? Yes, sweetheart. And Grandpa Robert? Absolutely. And Aunt Rebecca? Of course. She nodded, satisfied. Okay, can I have cake now? I laughed, the tension breaking. After your party, princess. Your friends are about to arrive. She wiggled out of my arms and ran inside, already moving past the moment, resilient in the way only children can be. Linda joined me on the porch. You okay? I will be. You did the right thing, you know, protecting her, protecting yourself. It doesn't feel right. It just feels sad. Both things can be true. Emma's party was magical. 12 6-year-olds running wild in the backyard. Cake smeared on happy faces. Presents piled high. Emma laughed until her sides hurt, surrounded by friends and the family that chose to show up. I took a video of her blowing out the candles. Her wish whispered, but her joy evident. Later that night, after the guests had gone home and Emma was asleep clutching a new stuffed unicorn, I sat in my home office and uploaded the video to my computer. I had thousands of photos and videos of Emma, her whole life documented in digital files. I had started a private blog after Sarah died, writing letters to her, telling her about Emma's milestones, about the funny things she said, about how we were surviving without her. I opened the blog now and wrote a new entry. Dear Sarah, Emma turned 6 today. She's so much like you, bright, kind, resilient. She has your laugh, your curiosity, your ability to find joy even when things are hard. Your parents were here as always. They've become the grandparents Emma deserves, the ones who show up, who love her unconditionally. I'm grateful for them every single day. My parents came too, not invited, not welcome. They wanted back in now that they see success. But I realized something today. Success isn't measured in downloads or dollars or articles written about you. Success is raising a daughter who knows she's loved. Success is being present for the moments that matter. Success is choosing the hard right over the easy wrong. By that measure, we're succeeding, Sarah. Every day, we're succeeding. I miss you. Emma misses you. But we're okay. We're more than okay. We're building a life that honors you. Full of love, honesty, and people who show up when it matters. I know you're proud of us. I feel it sometimes, in the quiet moments, like you're still here, still cheering us on. Thank you for Emma. Thank you for the years we had. Thank you for teaching me what real love looks like, so I knew exactly what to walk away from today. Forever yours, Ethan. I closed the laptop and walked to Emma's room. She was sprawled across her bed, one arm hanging off the side, her princess dress still on because she'd refused to take it off. I gently removed her shoes, covered her with a blanket, and kissed her forehead. "Love you, Mommy," she mumbled in her sleep. My heart clenched. "She loves you too, baby. Always." 3 years passed. Emma turned 9. Harmony grew into a company with 45 employees and 7 million users worldwide. I sold it to a larger tech company for $18 million, retaining a consulting role that let me work from home and never miss Emma's important moments. I bought a new house, bigger, with a garden Sarah would have loved. I set up a scholarship fund in Sarah's name for single parents pursuing education. I invested in other startups created by people who'd experienced loss and were building something meaningful from it. My parents never came back. I heard through a distant cousin that they'd filed for bankruptcy, that my father's investments had failed, that they'd moved to a retirement community in Florida where the living was cheaper. I felt nothing. Not anger, not satisfaction, not even sadness. They had become strangers, their names just words with no weight. Emma thrived. She loved science and art in equal measure, had a tight group of friends, played soccer with fierce determination. She talked about her mother openly, asking questions, sharing memories from when she was small. "Do you think Mommy would be proud of me?" she asked one night while I helped with her homework. "She's beyond proud. She's bursting with it." "How do you know?" "Because I am. And I knew her better than anyone. We always felt the same way about you." She smiled, satisfied, and went back to her math problems. Preparing and narrating this type of story took us long efforts and hard work. So if you are enjoying the story, please consider subscribing to our channel. On what would have been Sarah's 35th birthday, Emma and I took flowers to the cemetery. We did this every year on Sarah's birthday, on the anniversary of her death on Mother's Day. It had become a ritual, a way of keeping her present in our lives. "Daddy, do you think you'll ever get married again?" Emma asked as we arranged the fresh roses by the headstone. The question surprised me. "Would you be okay with that?" She considered it seriously. "I think Mommy would want you to be happy. Grandma Linda says Mommy had the biggest heart of anyone she knew. People with big hearts want the people they love to be happy, even if they can't be there themselves." "That's very wise. I'm 9. I'm basically grown up." I laughed. "Basically. So would you get married again? Maybe someday, if I found someone special. Someone who understood that your mom will always be part of our family, even though she's not here. Like how Grandma Linda and Grandpa Robert are our family even though they're Mommy's parents?" "Exactly like that." We sat in comfortable silence for a while, the spring breeze warm on our faces. "Daddy? Those people who came to my 6th birthday party, the ones you said used to be part of your life." I was tense. She rarely brought them up. "Yes. I'm glad they're not part of our family. Our family is better without them." Out of the mouths of babes. "Yeah, sweetheart. It really is." 5 years later, I stood in the backyard of our home, watching Emma graduate from 8th grade. She was 14 now, on the edge of becoming who she would be. Confident, compassionate, driven. Sarah would have loved her so much. Robert manned the grill, flipping burgers. Linda set out salads and Emma's favorite pasta. Rebecca was there with her husband and 2 kids. Emma's cousins who adored her. Friends from the neighborhood, Emma's teachers, her soccer coach, our chosen family, all gathered to celebrate. My phone buzzed with a notification. A LinkedIn message from my father. I almost deleted it without reading it. Then curiosity won. "Son, I'm reaching out one last time. Your mother passed away last month. Cancer. It was quick. The funeral is next week if you want to come. I understand if you don't. I also understand we have no right to ask for anything from you. We made our choices and we lost everything that mattered because of them. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect a relationship. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry. We were wrong about Sarah. We were wrong about what mattered. We missed out on knowing an incredible woman and an incredible granddaughter because we were too proud and too foolish to see what we had. I hope you're happy, Ethan. I hope Emma is happy. That's all I wanted to say. Dad. I read it twice, 3 times. I felt a flicker of something. Not quite forgiveness, but maybe the beginning of letting go. I thought about Sarah, about what she would say. She had the biggest heart of anyone. She believed in second chances, in growth, in people's capacity to change. But she also believed in consequences, in protecting the people you love, in not letting toxic people back in just because they finally understood what they'd lost. I typed a response. I'm sorry for your loss. I hope you find peace. We're happy. We're surrounded by people who love us and show up for us. That's all I ever wanted. I forgive you for me, not for you. I forgive you so I can close this chapter completely. Take care of yourself. Ethan. I sent it, then blocked the profile. Final and clean. Emma ran up to me, flushed with excitement. Dad. The coach says I made varsity soccer for high school. As a freshman. I swept her into a hug, spinning her around like I did when she was little. That's amazing. Your mom would be so proud. I know, she said, grinning. I felt her there at tryouts. Does that sound weird? Not at all. I feel her too. Every day. Linda called us for cake, and Emma ran off. I stood for a moment, looking at our chosen family laughing and celebrating, at the life we'd built from the ashes of tragedy. Success wasn't the app or the money or the recognition. Success was this. A daughter who knew she was loved, a family knit together by choice rather than obligation, a heart that had learned to heal without becoming hard. I thought of my parents, my mother now gone, my father alone in Florida. I felt sad for them, for all they'd missed, for the love they'd rejected. But I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel like I should have tried harder, given more chances, let them back in. Some bridges burn for a reason. Some choices have consequences that can't be undone, no matter how much regret comes later. I had learned from them exactly what not to be. I had built a life that was the opposite of their choices. Present, loving, prioritizing what truly mattered. That was my revenge, if revenge it was. Not wealth or success or rubbing their noses in what they'd missed. Simply this happiness. A full life. A daughter who knew, beyond any doubt, that she was worth showing up for. Emma called to me again, and I joined my family, the real one, the chosen one, the one that mattered. Sarah would have been proud. And in the end, that was all the success I needed.